Son of Longhorse. Occasionally, Longhorse will shed its spinal bones. It does this randomly, and no one really knows why it does, but the results speak for themselves. These discarded bones do not dissolve like the ones that are taken off Longhorse's body, so the agency tends to collect them for research, and to keep them out of the hands of people who would find a malicious use for them. Longhorse is such a gentle, benevolent creature, and it would be in poor taste to capture something that does so much good in the world. So, the bones are taken and brought to the lab for examination. Not much was discovered that was atypical. DNA testing confirmed that the bone was from the spine of a horse. It was composed of the usual materials, that is, collagen, hardened and strengthened by calcium, and appeared to be no different to any other bone. It was to be marked for disposal when a researcher, who wasn't supposed to be smoking in the lab, had a minor accident. Nothing major, but it was enough to cause him to trip, dropping his lit cigarette onto the bone fragment. Upon contact, the bone burst into blue flames and underwent rapid growth. New bones formed, including a jawless horse skull. The process came to a finish as black hair sprouted randomly over the body. When it was done, a Longhorse floated before the dumbfounded researcher. Except this one was only around 2 feet in length. It clicked around the burnt-out cigarette and made its way around the lab, examining each and everything it could touch. The researcher nervously approached the creature. His mind screamed about 1,000 different things at once, about protocol, about triggering the alarms, and most importantly, about getting this creature into containment as quickly as humanly possible. But instead, something inside him relaxed, and he held out his hand to the creature. It circled around the outstretched limb and, with a crack that sounded somehow happy, it landed in the researcher's palm. The man examined it closely, and was even able to touch the tiny Longhorse's hair. This action made for more happy clicks. That was how the son of Longhorse was discovered. The son has abilities similar to that of its father. It's able to float in the air and control its bones to contort in different ways. Son can even move from shadow to shadow, merging with them as if they were water and then appear in different, unconnected shadows. The creature is smart too. Using simple beginner's books, it was able to be taught basic English and Morse code. This is how we know that, like the parent, the son of Longhorse has precognitive abilities. Testing revealed that it could see up to a maximum of 5 minutes into the future, but unlike its parents, the tinier Longhorse can only see the future around its general area, and it has to be actively looking. Otherwise, it won't be able to see. The sun can regenerate, but at a much slower rate. Another accident, where a door slammed closed on the creature, shattered it to pieces. The researcher responsible for the accident was horrified by their mistake, almost to the point of tears. But before their eyes, the fragments started to slowly come back together. It took around 6 hours, but the son of Longhorse was able to rebuild its body after it was torn apart. It was slow, and every now and then the researcher observing had to nudge a piece into place, but a full recovery was made. The creature's personality remained the same after its recovery. It was still playfully curious, and it didn't have a drop of negative intent in its body. Another interesting thing of note is that it was more affectionate toward the researcher who sparked its birth. It had a clear preference for his company, and would often hang around him, wrapped around his body, usually curled around his wrist or nestling in his hair. When asked why it preferred this particular researcher, the son of Longhorse responded, in jerky but improving Morse code. It explained that it was the guardian to the researcher, that it was its duty to protect the man. This was no idle boast. When a technical glitch let a dangerous creature loose in the base, the son was quick to warn the researcher to hit the alarms and drop the metal shutters that protect every lab. Paying heed to his little friend, the researcher acted in the nick of time. As the shutters were slamming down, there was a loud screech and a ringing impact on the walls. If the researcher had not been warned, that beast would have broken in and ripped him to shreds. As the alarm had been raised and protections engaged in time, no one was harmed, and the escaped creature was promptly returned to containment. It was then that another researcher had an idea. There were multiple discarded bone fragments from Longhorse collected over the years. Some had been destroyed, but for the most part, the collected materials were intact. So she requisitioned a fragment for herself. When it arrived in her lab, she used a Bunsen burner to apply flame to the bone. A new, small Longhorse was born. It quickly bonded with her and, like the other one, was highly intelligent and picked up language with amazing speed. It also possessed the same seer abilities as the other son, using them to keep her safe and warn her if she was going to make a dangerous mistake in the lab. She sent the information up the chain, and now the higher-ups at the agency are debating pairing up their field agents with a son of Longhorse to help keep them safe. This could be game-changing.